What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming at you with another pregame sauce. How's everybody doing on this Tuesday afternoon? We have a pending snowstorm, a little snowstorm come to Chicago, probably the first one of the year, so I ain't mad. We got the December 29th without a major snowstorm in Chicago. I'm happy about it, so it's okay with me. Meredith Evans, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for joining. So we got a little pregame sauce today. Wanted to break down a couple of games tonight that will be on FS1. So Big Ten only has 2 games and only on FS1. So you'll see at 6 p.m., I'll be on the Purdue at Rutgers game. Dana Taft, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for joining. I'll be on the Purdue at Rutgers game at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on FS1. And then following that, all of a sudden it's become a really interesting game. Northwestern at Iowa at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Fox FS1. What's up, Dr. Lloyd Walton? What's good, Doc? How you doing? Old City Chuck 080, what's happening? Andrew Moody, what's good? Thanks for jumping on. So tonight's game, Purdue at Rutgers, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Let's get into it real quick, y'all. The Purdue keys get Sasha Stefanovic going early. He is a lethal three-point shooter, and Purdue is 8-2 when he hits 4 threes or more. He can do that. He can really do it, but he's struggling shooting the basketball. He only had 1 shot attempt last game in their home victory over Maryland. So Purdue to get a win at Rutgers, which obviously the Big Ten, I don't think a lot of people know this. The Big Ten Conference has led college basketball attendance for 41 consecutive seasons. I let that pause sink in there for a second. I think a lot of you may not realize that in college basketball, the ACC gets a lot of love, as they should. They've got championship programs, championship coaches. Big 12, same thing. Big East, same thing. But nobody compares to the Big Ten in terms of trying to go on the road and win a game. I'm going to say it one more time. The Big Ten Conference has led the nation in attendance for the last 41 consecutive years. That might be the longest run in college sports. So here's the deal. If you get a guy like Sasha Stefanovic, a three-point shooting specialist, that's not all he does, but if you can get him going early and start to get some confidence, because this is one of the youngest teams in college basketball, the Purdue Boilermakers. They're even younger than Indiana. Mason Gillis, Zach Edey, Brandon Newman, all freshmen. And they really rely on these guys. These are 3 of their top 8 rotation guys. Mason and Brandon start. So Purdue is really young. And so when you're on the road and you're not in friendly confines and you don't have the rack to deal with, right? You don't have that crazy Rutgers crowd to deal with, but you're still on the road. So you got to get Sasha Stefanovic going early. Boy, IG is lit today. Ron Harper Jr.'s got game. Yes, he does. Max Jr. was good. Zoomer Sports was happening. Big Ten loaded this year with ballers. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, the Big Ten in the AP Top 25 has 9 teams out of the top 25 teams in the country. The AP rankings, the Big Ten has 9 schools, 9 programs. That's the most since 2011. The last conference to do that was the Big East Conference in 2011. So the Big Ten with 9 top 25 teams in it. So each night, the Big Ten is going to have tremendous basketball, great games. I don't care who's on. I don't care who's playing. Could be Nebraska, could be Wisconsin, could be Iowa, could be Illinois, could be Indiana, could be Purdue at Rutgers like it is tonight. So make sure you tune in. Nikki Lane Perkins, you had the best suggestions that I've seen yet. So I love that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you and your brother Donovan. E. Wells 678 was good. DJ Richardson was a baller, Zoomer Sports. Yes, he was. So that gets Stefanovic going early from three. Purdue is 8-2 when he hits 4 more three-point shots. He's one of the elite three-point shooters in the Big Ten. When you're on the road, you need something like that to happen to come up with an upset. And that would be considered, in my opinion, an upset if Purdue can go into Rutgers and get the game tonight. For Rutgers, the keys would be Miles Johnson staying out of foul trouble. Miles Johnson is an extremely talented big, and I think the officials have it out for Rutgers. I really do. I've called a number of games of theirs. I cannot believe the unfriendly whistles that Rutgers receives from officials. It's kind of bad, y'all. I'm not going to harp on it because I don't care. Shit, I'll probably get in trouble anyway. I don't care. That's what I think. The refs suck towards Rutgers. They need to do better. They need to do better. So Miles Johnson gets in foul trouble a lot, and he's straight up and down a lot. He plays really good position defense. He's a very talented big, but he doesn't get a chance to play a lot. He fouled out in 15 minutes in the game against Ohio State. And 2 or 3 of those calls are very questionable. So got to keep Miles Johnson out of foul trouble because with Cliff Omoruyi, a very talented freshman big, he is out with a knee sprain. Guys, sorry, my allergies are killing me, and I'd use a neti pot. You guys ever use a neti pot where you put the salt water up here and you try to clear out your sinuses? Woo! And it's doing a number on me right now, so you'll hear my voice fluctuate. So I apologize. So keep Miles Johnson out of foul trouble for Rutgers. That's a key for them in this game. The second game that I mentioned, Northwestern and Iowa, ladies and gentlemen, Northwestern Wildcats, don't look now. They're 19th in the country, and so they are balling. Chase Audige, Boo Booey, doing their thing. Woo! Oh, apologize. So, Northwestern and Iowa, 2 top 25 teams. Northwestern is definitely the surprise team in the Big East. Big Ten this year so far. Chase Audige, Boo Booey, outstanding creative backcourt. Ryan Young up front. Miller Kopp is an outstanding wing player. Woo, hold on, y'all. Okay. So the neti pot is working. But this is a very talented Northwestern team. This is not a fluke, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you tune into this game. This is going to be very interesting. Iowa, one of the elite teams in all of college basketball. Definitely one of the top in the Big Ten. And they've got the best player in the country, Luka Garza. Little Weezy, Joe Wieskamp is a beast of a 6'7" swing. CJ Frederick can fill it up or put it on the deck. Bohannon has been in the Big Ten for seems like 10 years. Joe Toussaint, the point guard at Iowa, is very, very tough. This is a great Iowa team. Woo! Pardon me, y'all. The saline is working. It's all coming out. But here are the keys for Northwestern. Keep Iowa off the free throw line. The Hawkeyes do as good a job of anybody in the country, primarily because of Luka Garza, because he's so good at drawing contact and fouls. You've got to keep Iowa off the free throw line if you're Northwestern. You want a chance for an upset on the road, because Iowa does a great job of getting into your body. They deck it a lot. They're an excellent three-point shooting team, but they have great balance. That's why they're one of the best teams in the country this year. You've got Luka Garza that can score inside. You got Joe Toussaint that's really good at breaking down the defense. CJ Frederick could do a little bit of everything. Ask at Joe Wieskamp. And Bohannon, not going to really beat you off the bounce, but he's so crafty that he can draw fouls. He can, step back threes, catch and shoot threes. These guys are supremely talented. So if you're Northwestern, you want a chance at an upset, you got to keep Iowa off the free throw line. And then for Iowa, get their three-point shooting going early, because Northwestern is one of the better teams at switching defenses. And anybody that knows, if you've game planned against Chris Collins' Northwestern Wildcats, they have a playbook about that thick. And so, believe me, Northwestern has some things in store defensively for Iowa. They may not, and here's the thing. When you're trying to play against a team and a player as good as Luka Garza, do you try to stop or limit him and kind of let everybody else do their thing? Or do you kind of, you're guarding Luka Garza, but you're not double teaming him. You're not doing things to get yourself out of defensive position. That's the other way. So do you try to load up and stop Luka Garza? Or do you want to play him straight up, you want to play him tough, but do you stay at home on everybody else and limit everyone else and let Luka Garza try to beat you? It will be interesting to see how Northwestern approaches this, because there's different ways to do it. I think, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think college coaches have so much pride that they're like, the last 52 programs couldn't do it, but I got a formula to stop Luka Garza. No, you don't. No, you don't. No coach in America has a formula to stop Luka Garza, because he's been doing it his whole career and nobody's been able to stop him. So, do you play him up? Do you play him straight up and send a double on the bounce? When the pass is coming to him, do you go on the pass? When you let him put it on the deck once, you try to run somebody to him? Or do you stay at home, you try to rake at him? What do you do? He keeps coaches up at night, especially in the Big Ten. Anybody that plays Iowa, you have this dilemma. But if you're Iowa, you want to get the three-point shooting going early, because what happens is Iowa can space you out and you got to pick your poison. If they're hitting threes early, you can cancel Christmas, because there's really nothing you can do. If Wieskamp, Bohannon, and Frederick get going early from three, they're one of the best teams in the country. So if Iowa can get that three-point shooting going early, it could be a long night for Northwestern. So those are the keys. Let me run back through them real quick. We got Purdue at Rutgers at 6 p.m. on FS1. I'll be on with my partner, Lisa Byington. We're on the ones and twos on FS1. The keys for Purdue is get Sasha Stefanovic going early. When he hits four threes or more, Purdue is 8-2. He can hit 4 threes very easily. One of the elite three-point shooters in the Big Ten. What's up, Tina Strong? Greg Scott, 1991. Stan T.O. Lamone Lampley, one of DePaul's finest. What's up, Lamone? Good to see you. Hoffman P. K-Dub. What's up, Kenny Williams? Peyton Pitts. What's happening? Old City Chuck. Hold on, I'll get to that. Keep Miles Johnson out of foul trouble if you're Rutgers. Talented center, but Rutgers is banged up front. They're missing Cliff Omoruyi. They're very talented 6'10" interior post player. So they're thin up front. They got to keep Miles Johnson out of foul trouble. In the second game, Northwestern, 19th in the country. They're in the top 25 AP. I said it earlier. Big Ten has 9 teams. That's the most since 2011 in the Big East. So the Big Ten is loaded. And one of those loaded teams is Northwestern at 19. They're visiting Iowa, who is in the top 10, one of the top teams in the country. This is going to be a great matchup at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on FS1. Northwestern keys, keep Iowa off the free throw line. They are one of the best teams in the country at getting to the free throw line. And then for Iowa, get that three-point shooting going early, so when Northwestern tries to change defenses and whatnot, they're on their heels. Because now you've got to pay attention to Luka Garza every time down. But if you're paying attention to him too much, Iowa can sting you from three. And when they get the three going, I think there might only be 2 to 3 teams better in the country than Iowa when they get their three-point shooting going. They played one of them. Gonzaga, I think, is the class of college basketball this year. Baylor is second. I think Kansas is third, and then it's like Iowa, Wisconsin, right in there. Okay, Illinois, kind of in that mix. I got to see a little bit more from Illinois before I put them in that category, but they're right there. So those are your keys and those are your games. Let me get to the questions real quick. O-City Chuck 080 says, do you think the Illini can win it all? And is the kid who went to Morgan Park a top 5 pick? I think Illinois can win it all. If they can improve on their defense in terms of limiting their fouls. Sometimes they get handsy. They did a much better job against Indiana. They didn't get in foul trouble. They had Kofi down the stretch. Io took over. Io, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if there's a better guard in college basketball. There's not one playing better than him right now. So Io, in my opinion, is the top guard in college basketball. Is he a top 5 pick? That's hard to say, O-City Chuck, because what happens is there's always foreign players that now enter the draft that we don't get a chance to see a lot of. I don't pay attention a lot to the overseas guys until it's draft time. And so I don't know if he's a top 5 pick. He's definitely a first rounder. I will say that. He's definitely a first round pick. Zoomer Sports says, is DeMonte Williams the glue to this Illinois team? He's definitely one of them. Andre Corbello is starting to become glue as well. But yes, he's very, very important to what Illinois is doing. Okay, K-Dub, Kevin, Kenny Williams makes a great point. You put Garza in pick and roll defensive side, prone to foul trouble. He's really not, Kenny. We think that Garza's prone to foul trouble. He's not. He's smart. He'll let you go. He'll let you score because he knows that if you get the 2 points here and he's still on the floor, he's going to more than get 2 points on the other end. He's very, very smart. He does not pick up silly fouls, right? I know what you're saying, Kenny, and that's a great strategy. I don't know if that works, though. Many people have tried to put Garza in the pick and roll situation on the defensive side, and yet, Iowa's figured out a way to protect him. Maybe they ice the pick and roll, or maybe he hard hedges early so that if his man dies, there's another help and he discourages the ball screen action. But that I see where you're going with that, Kenny. That's a great point. But Garza's smart. He doesn't get in foul trouble. So that's something to watch out for. I'm telling y'all, boy, the tribe is strong. Nick stuck the dagger in. Great job commentating. E-Wells 670, 678. Thank you, E-Wells. Appreciate you. Nate MC Smith, 2005. Thanks for joining. Kenny McReynolds, one of Chicago's finest, is on. Kenny, I'm still sad, man, about our boy, Donnie Kirksey. We lost another great individual to COVID. Donnie Kirksey was a wonderful human being and a great impact on young people through basketball in the Chicagoland area. He passed away. I believe it was a couple mornings ago. No, yesterday. Was it yesterday morning? I think it was yesterday morning. It's sad, man, but I know you feel the same way. But hang in there, brother. Why is Adam Miller struggling? Will Andre Corbello win the Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year? Zoomer Sports. Zoomer Sports, you are zoomed in on Illinois basketball. Expand your reach a little bit. There's Brandon Newman and Mason Gillis tonight for Purdue that could very well be freshman of the year. Or I don't know. Maybe sixth man of the year. Ooh, he could be. He could be. But expand it a little bit for me. All right, let me get over here to these questions because it's lit. It is lit over here. Brian M513. SB, really enjoyed your commentary during last night's whiskey game. Thank you, Brian. That was a great game. I don't know if you guys saw that. Maryland won at Wisconsin. It was a great game. Physical, no cheap shots. enthusiasm on both sides. Tremendous play by Dante Scott. I mean, Dante Scott up fake on the three-point line, put it on the deck, and hammered it home in a crucial situation that ensured Maryland would get the upset road win. But, Brian, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Anastasia. Oh, thank you. Looking good. Thank you, Anastasia. I'm trying to up the appearance here on Pregame Sauce, postgame beverage, Bardo's breakdown. You know, I gotta come strong for y'all. I'm trying to get better and better. You know what I mean? But thank you very much, and thank you for always supporting Anastasia. Anastasia is an original tribe member, as is Octavia Florence Snulligan. Anastasia Walker, I was thinking this. Thank you, ladies. And these are Illini people. So you know they're great. Thank you, Octavia. I appreciate you. Maryland's upset was delicious last night, says Don Green. For Terps fans, I'm sure it was. Baby Boilers, huh? Yes. Purdue is, I'm almost certain they're the youngest team in the Big Ten. They're one of the youngest teams in the country. And Zach Edey is fun to watch, 7'4" freshman. If you haven't seen Purdue play, tune in tonight. We'll be on in about an hour and 45. I'm going to get out of here in a second because I got to run the studio. Zach Edey is a talented freshman, 7'4". He's not a stiff, ladies and gentlemen. He's athletic. He can move. He's fundamentally sound. He's fun to watch. Brandon Newman has 17 in Purdue's victory, their last victory Christmas Day over Maryland. He is a fun freshman to watch, and Mason Gillis is built like a senior. Mason Gillis was Big Ten Freshman of the Week, I believe, last week. Really solid, well put together 6'6" guy that can play a number of different positions. So yes, the baby Boilers, no doubt. Carol Paul Paquette, tribe member, going to tune in to watch the Rutgers game mainly so I can listen to you broadcast. Both my boys and I say the same thing. We know so little about ball. Carol, no, you know a lot about basketball. What are you talking about? Lynn Holly, it was a good game other than the fact that my kid loves Wisconsin. What's up, Lynn? I hope Hunter is enjoying that camp. Thank you, Lynn, for always support. Really appreciate it. Can't wait to see Northwestern play. Haven't watched them play yet. Carol, you will like this Northwestern team. Chris Collins has infused a lot of confidence in these Northwestern Wildcats. They come down, and if they got a shot, they let it fly. They're not sitting around, passing around the perimeter and all that. They'll break guys down. Miller Kopp is shooting the leather off the rock. He's putting it on the deck a little bit better this year. Boo Buie last year came in thinking he was Steph Curry, and he's starting to play a little bit like it. Chase Aldee's impact transfer has really given them an element that they didn't possess before, because last year Boo Buie had to do a lot of different things in crunch time. Now they've got another veteran guy that can go get his own shot. So this is really good. Ryan Baker, my man, my Mella. Y'all know Ryan Baker, morning anchor for CBS News. Illini great. Happy to be my college roommate. Not a lot of people know that. Love you, Ryan. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for always supporting, man. Charlie Deasy. What's up, Charlie Deasy? I love that name, bro. Charlie Deasy. All right. Yeah, Carol, you're gonna like Northwestern. Big Ten teams got 90 teams in the conference. Shouldn't be a problem getting 9 teams in the top 25. All right. Facebook user J-K. How many teams does the ACC have in it? Can somebody answer that question? How many teams does the ACC have in their conference? 15. The Big Ten has 14, right? So all that argument you just said, out the window. Hadn't happened since 2011. So Big 12's been great. Big East has been great. ACC's been great. But it hasn't happened since 2011. So all that trash you're talking about the Big Ten and the number of teams, you know what you can do with that, right? Okay. All right, Don. Who is your son's buddy who plays for Maryland? I'd be interested because I'll give him a shout out. I've got Maryland a lot this year. Thank you, Old City Chuck. There are a lot of good games, 2 good games tonight on FS1. Nice job on the Maryland game last night. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Seriously. It means a lot that you come on here and you give me feedback from what you saw. And I love the feedback. Positive, negative, I love it. I'm a former hooper. I just want to get better. So when you guys watch games and you give me feedback, I love it. So let's continue this trend. Miles Johnson got screwed on his 5th foul, didn't even touch the guy. Amen, Carol. Amen. Will that win help them later on down the line? I think so. If you're referring to Maryland, I think so. Because when you have guys who are complimentary guys, role guys, and now they're expected to be the man, it takes some time. Anthony Cowan and the number 10 pick in the NBA draft, Jalen Stick Smith, these guys are pros. It's hard to overcome the loss of 2 pros. Ask Michigan State. Michigan State is 0-3 in the Big Ten right now. They won't stay at the bottom. Tom Izzo will get them. He'll get that ship righted. But they're 0-3 because they're struggling to replace Cassius Winston and Xavier Tillman. These are 2 pros. It's hard to replace pros in college basketball. Okay? So keep that in mind. Jonathan Taylor, after seeing Minnesota handle Iowa like the Big Ten will be a toss-up every night. No gimmies this year. Jonathan Taylor hit it on the head. There are no gimmies in the Big Ten. So you better bring your lunch pail because it's gonna be rough and tumble. Be careful, you are not an official. Those who are anti-Steve will use anything against you. I appreciate that. You're right, but that's kind of how I'm made up. I kind of don't give a shit sometimes. I don't. I appreciate that because I know where that's coming from. That's coming from a place of love. So thank you on that. I appreciate that. Pete Rosenberry, do you think overall officiating the Big Ten has gone down? There seems to be way too many flops called charges. Pete, I think the officials do a hell of a job. I do. I think the Big Ten has great officials, right? I think the people that make the rules handcuff the officials. They're making their job so difficult with all these damn rules, right? That's what I think. I think the officials are fine. I actually think they're very good because you rarely hear me talk about the officials because I think they do a great job for the most part. Some of them had bad games, no doubt, but there's a trend with Miles Johnson. And if you go back and look at Rutgers games, you look at the fouls he gets compared to the fouls that other bigs in the Big Ten get, there's a difference. And that, I guess, I don't like to see when young players don't have an equal chance to compete. And that's a pet peeve of mine. It hit a nerve, and that's why I do that. So, no, I think the officials are great in the Big Ten. I just don't like the way that Miles Johnson is officiated. I think it's unfair, and it needs to change. I want to see Luka Garza in action. Lynn Holly, if you are around the television at 8 p.m., go watch the nation's best player at Iowa, Luka Garza, play tonight. It's going to be a good game, y'all. Don't think Iowa's going to steamroll Northwestern. Don't think that. Northwestern is 19th in the country for a reason. They're not a fluke. Clint Rob 35, thanks for jumping on. Jason BGT 91, thank you. Carol, yep, hate the neti pot. Just came back from the ENT because of my sinuses. Bless you. Man, so Carol, you're not the only one struggling with your sinuses? Oh my gosh, might have been bad for the last 2 weeks. Jason Haskins, what's good, bro? Good to see you. Tribe member right there on IG. Good morning, good evening from Singapore, Donovan Lang. Donovan Lang is the original tribe. He's the original. That's my man, my Mella. What's up, Donovan? Hey, Stephen, great games tonight. Love the Big Ten. Thank you, Steve Prophet. Steve Prophet is a consistent supporter of Bardo's Breakdown. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Bronzeville P, what's up? Thanks for joining. Joe Stovall, Northwestern is playing like a EuroLeague team. Iowa still reeling from the blown opportunity to beat Minnesota. Oh, I think Joe Stovall is referring to the way that Northwestern is running their offense, and it's kind of a spread type deal, so read and react offense. Joe always brings it strong. Good to see you, Joe. Thank you. Joe's an original tribe member in Illini. Yep, they do, Don. Coach Dave Davis, is the Iowa Northwestern game at Iowa? Yes, it is, Coach. Thank you, Coach. Good to see you. Yep, at Iowa. What's wrong with MSU? It looks like their three-point shot is their Achilles heel. You know what, Joe? I think there is Michigan State has a little bit of an identity situation right now. Rocket Watts, I'm not sure he wants to be a point guard. Aaron Henry got a lot of easy shots because of Cassius Winston and some of the upperclassmen that he played with. And so now he's not finding it as easy because he doesn't have a Cassius Winston to hit him in the spots that he likes. And so an elite point guard at the college level can really make a huge difference in the lives of certain players. And I think Michigan State is having a tough time trying to figure out who they are. But best believe Tom Izzo will right the ship. Believe that. Coach Dave Davis, Carver Hawkeye is a difficult place to play with or without a large Iowa crowd. One of the toughest places in the Big Ten. No doubt about it, Coach. You are spot on with that. Are you, baby? Dirty Jersey on the rise. Dirty Jersey's not on the rise. Dirty Jersey is here. Rutgers is here. Rutgers was in the tournament last year. If there was an NCAA tournament, the Scarlet Knights had a chance to make the second weekend last year. I'm telling you. The Scarlet Knights are not, they're not on the rise. Dirty Jersey is here, baby. They're in the house. Gage Spiegler, thank you, Gage, for always supporting. Really appreciate you. Thank you for jumping on. I watched a replay of the 2000 Spartans in line in the Big Ten Conference Championship game. I know it was a game with a lot of intensity, but I love how it was officiated. They let them play. Yes, they did. Michael Pukel, thank you, Michael. I don't know if you've been on here before, but this is your first time. Welcome. Eric Grinley says, I want Curbelo to start. We need his energy to start the game. What do I think? I like Curbelo coming off the bench, actually, because what happens is when you start Trent Frazier, you're going to start DeMonte Williams. He's too important to the Illini not to start. But when you start Trent Frazier, Frazier is a nice three-point threat. He's a senior. He knows what to expect from Brad Underwood. He knows the Big Ten players. Defensively, he's stout. He's unselfish. He can score. I like him starting. I like bringing Curbelo off the bench and then moving Ayo to the 2. If you notice, when Ayo has had his points explosion, it's been when Curbelo was on the floor. So I like the way the Illini are doing it currently. Carol Pope Kent says, I remember Ryan Baker jumping up and down when Nick hit that shot. My dad was jumping up and down, Carol. My dad was on the floor. He was seated behind the bench. He leaped over the bench and joined us in the celebration. So Ryan Baker wasn't the only one. It was a whole lot of folks jumping for that one. Since Illinois smacked down Minnesota, the Gophers have been playing well. They look good against Iowa and Sparty. What gives? John, notice the Gophers are doing this at home. They got to do it on the road. They came to Champaign and got blitzed. So a lot of teams feel good at home. But can you bring that energy on the road? Econslitz, I know who that is. I'm in a rush, but I know who that is. Thanks for jumping on. I appreciate that. Jarris Hamilton is your man. Okay, Don. Jarris played well last night. He did a good job. Morcell needs to step up consistently. Yeah, he does. He's older. He played well last night. And when he scores double figures, I believe Maryland's 14-0 or dating back a couple seasons. Something crazy like that. Let's see. What's up? Okay, Jason's back over here. What teams could you see getting number 1 seed from the Big Ten? Wisconsin and Iowa right now. Those are the only 2 I can see. Maybe Illinois, outside Illinois, possibly. But definitely right now, Iowa. I'd say Wisconsin and Iowa are and Illinois is right behind them, in my opinion. I've been looking for your dad, but couldn't find him. You said he had silver hair. Yeah, he was salt and pepper then. He still had a little. He still had a little black in his hair, Carol. I love you guys, man. Y'all make this so much fun. O City Chuck said, "What's up with Michigan? Michigan's undefeated. They got 4 players that average double figures, and they're about a point away from having 5 guys that average double figures. They're older. They've got great size. Hunter Dickinson is the Big Ten Freshman of the Week. I think it's his second time being Big Ten Freshman of the Week. He is a stud. He's a stud. So Michigan's got inside attack. Shondy Brown is a impact transfer from Wake Forest. He gives them a different dimension off the bench. Isaiah Livers is one of the top players in the Big Ten. Franz Wagner finally busted out with a 20-point game. I believe it was at Nebraska. So Michigan's legit. They are legit. So make sure you watch them. All right. I think that's it. I got to run the studio. Be on in an hour and a half. Tune in to Fox Sports 1 for Purdue at Rutgers. It's going to be a great game. And then right after that, hurry up and get your popcorn. Get your beverage. Or get your popcorn and beverage before 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for Rutgers and Purdue. But then go refill for Northwestern and Iowa because you guys will not be disappointed. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your holidays. I hope you stay safe. Stay diligent. COVID is still raging. Okay? Love y'all. Peace.